Just finished up another epic day at NAMM, and a huge highlight for me here was getting to see Composer Charlie Clouser at the Spitfire audio booth.
They already sound like that.
Charlie's transformed his experience writing, producing, and remixing rock bands into a career scoring for film and television. The composer sat down at the Spitfire booth with Christian Henson to talk about his score for Wayward Pines.
I believe this is a wine glass played with a finger. And the South African or the Kenyan Fanta bottle. Something that it was just named Pan, which certainly sounds like a tin pan.
It's a small one. It's tin pan.
And then something called that was labeled trumpet fiddle horn, which who knows what the source of that was.
1915, they were popular for about 4 months. It's made of a gramophone horn, single string.
And it's obviously just almost percussive.
It's on the actual horn.
Right.
Yeah.
And then I had a couple of tracks up there, Mandolin Swarm, and it sounds like an army of mandolinists coming at you. And similar to the charango, I did 2 tracks, one that's pitched an octave down, just using the pitch knob on contact, and then a normal one. So the normal one is, musically it's not fancy, it's just one freaking note. But it's all about the sonic interest and the unusualness of the source material. And that's, what you just said is also why there's only 3 synthesizer tracks in here. Despite my heritage, I use almost no synthesizers anymore because I found that they draw attention to themselves in a way that familiar and comfortable instruments like piano, strings, whatever, don't. And that I don't want the audience to get distracted from the story and what's going on the screen and all of a sudden say, did R2-D2 just walk into the room? What's that high-tech bleep and bloop and that drum and bass square wave filter sweep? I try to use as little of that stuff as possible because it really draws attention to itself. But at the same time, I don't want to just use plain Jane piano strings and things. But I do want to have instruments that have a familiar organic footprint to them, but are delivered, played, and rendered in a screwed up way. And that's why so many of these things like the charango, mandolin swarm and stuff are perfect for the kind of music I like to do. Without having to learn what it is and rebuild it, and I always tell the mixing engineers on the stage that they can feel free to do whatever they want. If they want to just play one stem and mute the other ones entirely, fine. If they want to take one stem and pitch it down an octave and play it in reverse, fine. And I try to prevent the possibility of there being any disaster that I would be embarrassed to hear by the way in which I group things together.
So it's a real pleasure to sit down with Charlie for a moment and find out he uses Sample Library Review.